Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Through the Curtain. This is going to be an on-location episode for our very first trip to Fusion Wrestling. And folks, we are in Warsaw, Virginia at Rappahannock High School. It was a hike for us to get out here, but we thank wholeheartedly Fusion Wrestling for allowing us to participate in tonight's show as spectators, as fans, and as we tape our on-location episode. As usual, I'm your host, Tommy T. I'm joined by Double K and Smokey Z behind the scenes. So this is going to be pretty similar to the rest of the on-location episodes we've done, where we'll try to come to you between the matches. We've never been to a Fusion show before, so it's going to be a new experience for us to see how quickly we can get through this and how much time we have between the matches. So I don't know about you, Double K, but I am excited for this evening.
I tell you what, man, I expect nothing but a spectacular show tonight. We've seen some of these superstars wrestle for other promotions along the way. I'm excited to see Dewan O'Neal.
Absolutely. We haven't seen him in a while.
No, we haven't seen him in a while, and he always puts on a phenomenal show. I'm excited to see Preston Quinn versus the son of the Giant, Sean Studd.
Absolutely.
I'm old enough to be able to say that I saw Sean Studd's dad.
Right.
I was able to watch him wrestle, so now to be able to see him go one-on-one with Preston Quinn will be exciting.
We've got some huge stars that Fusion Wrestling has brought in here to Warsaw, Virginia. We have none other than the total package. Lex Luger is here signing autographs, meeting and greeting.
Yeah.
And then we had an opportunity to take a photo op with the all-American Jack Swagger.
We the people.
Absolutely. We the people. Zed Coulter in tow with Jack Swagger. And we'll have those photos posted for you guys on Facebook as soon as we can get a internet connection to be able to upload it.
Yeah, right.
Because, folks, we are out here. But let's talk a little bit about the setup that we see here. We've talked about production value at a lot of the shows that we've been to. And so far, I am just, round of applause just to the presentation that I've seen walking through the door here tonight at Fusion on Fire.
Oh, absolutely. You walk in the door and immediately it's an atmosphere of a show. And what I mean by the atmosphere of a show, they're pulling you in as soon as the door opens and you walk in. You look to your right, there's vendors everywhere. To the left and to the right side of the gym, every superstar on the card is out here signing autographs.
Yeah.
They're out here mixing and mingling with the fans.
Selling their merchandise. I mean, it is lined all the way up to our right on the other side of the gymnasium from us, as well as down our left-hand side all the way up to Jack Swagger at the front.
Yeah.
So,
and like I said, I mean, it's filling up. The bleachers on either side are filling up. The floor seats are filling up. So when they open the door and let the general admission seats in, it's going to be a packed house.
Yeah, I mean, folks, the way Fusion does this is they sell their VIP tickets to allow folks to come in, meet and greet with the wrestlers, take their photo ops and get their autographs. And those are the VIP tickets that people purchase before the day of the show.
Sure.
And then on the day of the show, they shut down their online ticket system, and then you buy them here at the door. Mm-hmm. Some of our friends who came did the same thing, purchased their tickets at the door. And that's their incentive for you to purchase those tickets in advance.
Well, sure.
Is to be able to get in and have those photo opportunities with the special guests that they bring in. And, we've seen a gymnasium set up before when we went down to VCW to see their last show. And this is a little bit different. VCW didn't have floor seats. They just used the gymnasium stands. They were significantly taller bleachers.
Right. The bleachers themselves, the gymnasium itself was a little bit larger.
Yeah. But, looking at what we've got here, we've got seats on both sides of the gymnasium as well as floor seats around the ring.
That's right.
So, clearly, the investment has been made. Now, Fusion doesn't do as many shows a year as we see from some of the other folks that we partner with, VCW, CPW. But the,
Can you believe these
we can, we haven't talked about them yet, but no, we did not pay them.
We did not.
For those, It's hard to believe. It's hard to believe. One of the fans here, folks, just speaking with us about the amount of people that they were able to fill the stadium with. But, you know, it's they do have a Walmart. They do have a Walmart. So there you go. That might be the case. Maybe it's just because they want to see a show. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe they came to see you.
You got to
That's
get out
possible.
there and put their show on, man.
Yeah, no, I doubt that. So, folks, we are just, moments away from the start of tonight's Fusion on Fire show. And again, we're going to be coming to you throughout the evening as we cover these matches immediately following each match and, continuing to talk about the presentation here. You can clearly tell that even though Fusion doesn't have as many shows a year, they invest planning and structure into these programs. We were absolutely stoked to get the chance to come in here tonight and be part of this.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, we had the fans stop by just now. Everybody's excited to see the show. To have the opportunity to watch a show with the likes of a Jack Swagger showing up to perform.
So let's talk about the card for a second, because we happen to have it in front of us of what we're going to see tonight. So, folks, here live at Fusion on Fire at Rappahannock High School in Warsaw, Virginia, we're going to see Hyena Hex versus Lights Camera Jackson Stone with Dr. Carl Martin.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to see the Guns for Hire versus Unstable with Dr. Carl Martin. We're going to see DeJuan O'Neill, which we spoke to him just a few moments ago,
sure,
versus Travis Jacobs. And then we're going to see, for the Fusion heavyweight title, the Pain Train, Preston Quinn, versus the son of a giant, Sean Studd, who you just spoke about a few moments ago. And then how about the feature match of the night? I'm not going to call it the main event. I'm going to call it the feature match.
Sure, right.
And we're going to get the opportunity to see the Enforcer, CW Anderson, which is an ECW original, against none other than the All-American Jack Swagger with Zeb Coulter.
I mean, it is a card that, like I said earlier, says nothing but spectacular. I think expectations are high from the fans that are here. I think expectations are high from the performers themselves to put on a great show for this packed house. And I know that our expectations for what we're here to see are extremely high also. So I don't think it's going to disappoint. I think we're going to get everything we wanted and then some. I mean, again, I expect nothing short of spectacular.
So, folks, again, this is an on-location episode of Through the Curtain. We are here live at Rappahannock High School in Warsaw, Virginia. We will be coming to you, bringing to you brief updates after each match, with this show airing tomorrow morning. We're excited. It's going to be a great evening, great matches, and we'll be coming to you after the conclusion of the first match of the evening. And at the conclusion of our first match, the match that kicked us off was DeJuan O'Neill, second to none, DeJuan O'Neill, against Travis Jacobs. And what a way to start the evening here at Fusion on Fire.
We made it about halfway through the first match before we had our first chant from the crowd. It was everything we thought we were going to see. Like I said, we've seen DeJuan O'Neill before. It was a lot of power, just straightforward. I'm going to say it. I haven't said it yet today. Smash mouth wrestling.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I mean, we had the conversation during the match that it's like you took Brock Lesnar and you squished him into Rey Mysterio's body.
Yeah.
And that's what you got with DeJuan O'Neill.
Yeah, he's as thick as he is wide.
Yeah.
Shoulder to shoulder, looks the same as front to back.
Yeah, and, an outstanding match to start off the night here at Rappahannock High School. DeJuan now taking the opportunity to celebrate in the ring. He's a performer that clearly has, you hear people say it's the it factor, and he clearly has a lot of the parts that you seek when you talk about someone who is the it factor.
No doubt. No doubt. He's charismatic. Like I said, he's powerful. For that big body, he moves so fluidly in the ring. He's the complete package, man.
Yeah. So, folks, we're going to turn this back over to our ring announcer for the evening, and we'll come to you after our next match. And after our second match of the evening, on this one we got to see Hyena Hex versus Lights, Camera, Jackson Stone.
Jackson Stone, everybody.
Yep, Jackson Stone. He was escorted by Dr. Carl Martin. First time I've seen both of these performers was tonight. And, Hyena Hex, that guy's fun to watch.
I tell you what, man, super, super athletic.
He's got a ton of talent.
Yeah,
ton of talent.
No doubt.
We saw some pretty epic Nature Boy chops on both sides of this match, both from Jackson Stone and Hyena Hex.
Well, the match had its perfect blend of ground and pound. The power from Jackson Stone. You had the high-flying backflips from the corner. The dives through the ropes from Hyena Hex. So, the match literally had every aspect covered.
Yeah, and it started off really quick with Hyena Hex flying around. Not what I was expecting. I didn't know what to expect because I hadn't seen those guys before.
No.
But an outstanding match between those two. I'll look forward to reviewing that on our show next week.
Absolutely.
So, folks, we're going to go back over to our ring announcer for the evening, and we'll see you after the next match. And we just witnessed the conclusion of the match for the Fusion Wrestling Heavyweight Championship. We got to see the Pain Train Preston Quinn, the reigning, defending Fusion Wrestling Heavyweight Champion, against Classy Max Sterling. Once again, first time I've seen either of these two guys perform, and a longer match than I was anticipating. Yeah. You can clearly tell that the Pain Train Preston Quinn
he just went full-blown Angus Young.
Yes, he did.
AC/DC in the center of the ring with the heavyweight title.
And you can tell that he's been doing this a while. The showmanship that's there.
No doubt.
Everything from the Dusty Rhodes dances and the elbows.
Oh, no doubt.
To the Ric
just
Flair.
Like the old school, grab you by the nose.
Yeah.
Stuff
we don't see anymore.
It's like we were talking about during the match. That was an old school title defense right there.
Absolutely. And, you
don't see that much anymore.
No, and you don't see that aspect of the showmanship anymore.
No,
that's definitely something that we just don't get really at all.
No.
As much as
he
we
was
used
playing
to.
to the crowd. He was gaining power for his punches from the high fives from the crowd.
Yeah.
I did appreciate, and I do, I enjoyed that aspect of the match. Because it's something, again, like you don't see that much anymore.
Yeah, and so based on the card that was provided to us, there are 2 matches left on the card, and that's going to be the Guns for Hire versus Unstable, and then our feature match of the night with Jack Swagger and Zeb Coulter taking on the ECW Original CW Anderson, the Enforcer.
So, with the 2 matches that are left, I think we're in for a treat still to come. I am excited to see both matches. It's been a long time since I've seen Jack Swagger in action. I'm excited to see him inside the squared circle again.
Yeah, his last public appearance that I saw was his Bellator MMA debut.
Yeah.
Where he was victorious. He was victorious in his first MMA fight. I was happy to see that, just as I was happy to see CM Punk lose both of his. So,
oh, come on, man. Take it easy on him.
Well, you know how I feel. You know how I feel about CM Punk.
It looks like you're about to get that shirt.
No, I will not get that shirt unless it's to use to clean my tires with when I wash my car.
Hey,
so,
as long as it has a use.
That's true. So, I think we're going into intermission now for Fusion Wrestling. And so far what we've seen is the production value is there. Fusion clearly spends some time building this program. I'm curious to see how the storylines build for Fusion, because they don't run as many shows as we see in some of the other promotions.
Right.
So I'm curious to see how do they build that program?
I don't know. I mean, that's a long time between shows usually. It's not a monthly thing. It's definitely not a weekly or bi-weekly thing. So I really don't know how that works. But I'm just like you. I'm interested to see how it's going to go.
Yeah, with the different performers that we've seen so far tonight, one of the things that I'm really excited about is the fact that there's so much talent that I've got a fan showing me a CM Punk t-shirt in front of my table right now.
Yeah.
No, maybe the best in the world at losing in MMA. So,
oh, man, that's a sore spot.
Yeah,
wow.
It is. But, the best picture of CM Punk was how he looked after those fights. But,
back to Fusion.
One of the things that I've really enjoyed about their program here tonight is nothing seems rushed.
No, I made that comment in the Dewan O'Neill match. It doesn't seem rushed. It doesn't seem hurried. I don't remember seeing a spot in the matches we've seen tonight where there were any botches. It looks like everything is, well put together, thought out. The athletes, the superstars, performers are on the same page.
Yeah.
It's a great technical show, and I think that might be the best word that I can sum it up with. It's technical.
Yeah.
So they're very sharp.
They've clearly been at this a little while.
Mm-hmm.
This was a name that you and I had heard, but never had the opportunity since we started the show to come out here and participate. And quite frankly, folks, what we were expecting was the typical that we've done with both Classic Pro Wrestling and Vanguard Championship Wrestling, where we kind of go, we watch the show, we do a review, and then we build rapport, and then maybe we look at doing an on-location episode. Fusion Wrestling was kind enough to just reach right off the bat and say, nope, guys, come have at it. Come do your thing. We want you at our show.
Yes.
And, it's
greatly appreciated.
Yeah, absolutely. Myself, Double K, Smokey Z, one of the things that we're going to look at doing here in the near future is traveling a little bit west and south from where we're used to being. If we think about, we've done RVA, we've done Norfolk, Hampton, we've got the Suffolk show for VCW coming up on April 13th, and then we've also got this show now in Warsaw.
Yeah.
And, clearly these rural areas tend to have a following for the programs that they put out. And, hats off to Rappahannock High School. This is a beautiful facility.
It is.
I don't know how old the actual facility is. It doesn't look very old.
No, I'm not familiar with this. Really, I'm not familiar with this area at all.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I knew where we were coming through Tappahannock, but once we crossed over that bridge, it was new territory for me.
Right, yeah.
So, and folks, I don't mean that figuratively. There's literally about a 2-mile bridge we crossed to get here, and that was where my familiarity ended.
Yeah.
My employer has a location that we passed on our way here, and folks, the same as the performers that come out here and entertain us, it is outstanding that we get the opportunity to partner with these guys and come out here and talk about the promotions and talk about the talent and really commit to what we told people we were going to do, which was provide a platform and continue to build our relationships with these performers. With Dewan O'Neill, we've got to take the time to get him on the show. He made the statement to us that he'll drive anywhere.
Yeah, he did. He was in North Carolina yesterday.
Yeah, now he's back in Virginia
and now
today.
He's back in Warsaw, Virginia tonight.
Yeah, and we've seen
a lot of road time.
We've seen this with a lot of the performers. Timmy Danger, when we had him on, actually talked about that, about how they drive so much.
Well, I mean, Timmy talked about it. Damian Wayne talked about it. We talked to Livid the Clown today at the CPW show, he was leaving the CPW show in hopes of performing here tonight if needed.
Yeah, and
Those guys are willing to go any and everywhere.
That's really what ends up being the case with a lot of them is they don't really focus on getting booked in advance as much as they do just getting to the event and hoping they get a shot.
Well, and you know, even again, we know Sledge Gibson does this. These guys get to the events early in the day. They help set the show up without even knowing if they're going to be on the show or not.
Yeah.
You know, they're willing to do whatever it takes to perform for these promotions, for these fans in the different areas. You know, so I mean, it's a hustle. You know, these guys have to be full go, full bore, 100% all the time. And they have to enjoy and they have to absolutely love their craft to be good at it and to be willing to travel and do those things.
Yeah, we've even seen let's talk about what we see in the ring right now. This is not something that I'm used to seeing.
No,
but they're cleaning the ring.
They're cleaning the ring during intermission.
Yep, and to include, you know, they're using Lysol wipes on the ropes.
Yeah, I mean I've honestly never seen that happen.
Nope, it's
even
new.
In your bigger shows. That doesn't happen. You know, during TV timeout, commercial timeout, breaks. You know, it doesn't happen. So you know, I really am impressed. Other than seeing the card and building my expectation off of word of mouth that we'd been told and what we knew, the matches we knew we were coming here to see, I really didn't know what to expect.
Yeah. You know, Damian Wayne reached out to us on social media and said, you guys are going to love it.
He did. And he's not wrong.
No, it's
a
very well done event. You know, we've got Timmy Danger's biggest fan right in front of us again.
Yes.
And so
looks like more of a Jack Swagger fan at the moment.
Yes, but you know, without a doubt, what Fusion has done here is they've really created an expectation for their following,
right,
of what their folks come to expect.
Yeah,
and you know, we've seen that too with VCW down in Norfolk, and now it is CPW's working on it.
Yes,
they're trying to build that expectation so that their fans can have the same thing that, you know, we've seen at the other promotions. We have to make sure that CPW gets the chance to set that bar as well. You know, and one of the things that I've also enjoyed at these shows is, you know, we don't spend a lot of time talking about WWE.
Right.
But it still blows my mind at how many times we see folks at these events wearing WWE apparel, wearing WWE belts, wearing, you know, we've got somebody in front of us with a Bootios t-shirt on.
Yeah. But you know what? I think we heard Lex Luger talk about it kicking off the show tonight. This area and Virginia as a whole has some of the greatest wrestling fans that you're going to find. Well, you know, us included.
Yeah.
You know, so when the people that show up to these shows and support these shows, whether it be a WWE show, whether it be a VCW show, whether it be a Fusion Wrestling show, they're here because they love to be entertained. They love wrestling as a whole. And so, you know, it's great to see that.
Yeah.
It's great to see it. Yeah. It didn't die after the late 90s.
Yeah.
You know, wrestling is stronger now worldwide than I think it's ever been.
I mean, I would agree. So, you know, for me, I think about back to the days when I would go stand outside the Siegel Center as a kid for ECW when they came into town.
Yeah.
And, you know, that was a big deal.
Yeah, well, you know, I was telling my wife a story the other day. We were watching Total Bellas. And
I'm sorry.
Well, she was watching Total Bellas. But John Laurinaitis was on. And I was telling a story about him coming to my high school when I was maybe 8 years old and performing as Johnny Ace.
Oh, wow.
So I can remember Jim Cornette showing up. You know, he had Big Bubba with him, the Rock and Roll Express, the Midnight Express. All those guys used to perform in my local high school. So when I'm in a setting like this, it's just, you know, it brings back a lot of those memories.
A little surreal for you.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, you know, again, same thing we've seen with VCW. These intermissions used as a time for the talent to come out, interact with the fans. We can see them back at their merchandise tables. You know, just the value that builds in. We've talked about it at every show. This opportunity that they give the fans to talk, interact, just spend time with the performers is crucial to their success.
I think so.
Absolutely crucial to their success. And so, you know, as I believe we're going to be wrapping up our intermission here in just a moment, it is just a continued, you know, show for these guys to be able to come out and provide the entertainment value that, you know, really goes beyond what you would expect if this was your first show. So, you know, if this would have been the first show I ever came to for, you know, local indie wrestling, then I would be blown away.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think you would be hooked immediately for someone who's never been to a wrestling match before. You know, we know someone who's never really been around wrestling a whole lot, who is low-key finding a way to show up at shows with us.
That's very true.
She doesn't necessarily approve, or so she says, but she's still finding her way to these shows.
That's right. That, you know, and it's even the people like that support these events that make the difference. Because you and I have done some, you know, we've done some work with the folks that run CPW to try to make sure that their events still go off without a hitch and that they can afford to pay their talent.
Right.
And so that they can afford to increase the production value of their events.
That's right.
You know, we've still got a few tricks up our sleeves that we're continuing to work for those guys, and we would offer the same support to any group,
to anybody
that
right.
you know, would reach out to us and say, "Hey, how can you help?" Because really, folks, that's what our goal is. We just want to help, and you know, we'll be able to enlighten our listeners more as we go through the next several months to talk about what the future of Through the Curtain is going to look like, and, you know, potential sponsorships, and, you know, just an all-around change for the independent wrestling scene, as I don't believe that there were ever this many wrestling shows independent of each other when we were growing up. Those were the territory days.
Right. That's right.
And so, you know, you think about Virginia, Maryland, Baltimore, Delaware, New York City, New York proper, New Jersey, all of those different areas, you know, that was the North or the Mid-Atlantic territory.
Yep. You're right.
Which is what ultimately ended up becoming the now WWE.
Yes.
So, you know, it's going to be interesting to see what the wrestling business looks like in the next 5 to 10 years with AEW now coming out. But you've got these folks like Fusion Wrestling that can put on a great show with a great card, with great talent.
Great talent, yes.
And deliver on the expectations.
That's right.
So, folks, as we wrap up the intermission here at Fusion Wrestling, we are coming to you again from Rappahannock High School on location in Warsaw, Virginia, where we are still awaiting the match between the All-American Jack Swagger with Zeb Coulter. Let's not forget that Zeb is here to face the ECW Original, the Enforcer, CW Anderson.
I don't know about you, but I'm excited. I'm excited to see that match.
Absolutely. So, folks, we're going to wrap up intermission, and we will come to you again after our next match. And after the last match, I'm a little confused. I'm a little put off.
Well,
we got to see the Guns for Hire versus Unstable.
I was confused before the match started.
Yeah, I mean, we've got the unstable folks. If you get the chance, take a look at these guys. Google them.
It's worth a look for sure.
It's a little disturbing.
It's good. Yeah.
If I have to pick a word, that's the word I would pick. It's a little disturbing. There was a grown man in a dress in the ring with white face paint who looked like the fake Undertaker
mixed with the girl from the movie The Ring.
Yes.
Combine that, and you got it.
Yeah. The gown included. He was in the moo too.
I'm honestly though, I liked the match.
Well, and the gimmick worked.
And the gimmick worked, absolutely.
You know, they
guns for hire were good. I mean, I enjoyed the match. That was the fastest paced match we've seen tonight.
Yeah, there was one bad spot towards the end of the match. We'll cover that in the review of the show.
Yeah, but I mean, and you know what? We can't kill it for that.
No, not at all.
But I agree, because that was the only bad spot I've seen all night.
Great performance from both of those teams. You know, and folks, we are going to be, you know, transitioning over to our featured event of the evening, which is going to be the ECW Original, the Enforcer, CW Anderson, who's on his way to the ring right now.
Yes, he is.
And in just a moment, we're going to see the entrance of the All-American Jack Swagger. So, folks, we're going to turn this back over to Fusion at this point, and we'll come back to you at the wrap of the show. And at the conclusion of our main event this evening, the All-American Jack Swagger has defeated the ECW Original CW Anderson. You know, there were a couple of great spots in that match. We saw Unstable came back out. They attacked Jack Swagger while the referee had been knocked down after a spot in the ring. And then the locker room cleared, came out, and they were helping Jack Swagger so that he wasn't stuck facing Unstable by himself.
No, it was impressive. I mean, he took a shot from behind that would have kept, a normal man down. And he took a brief beating from multiple guys. And then, like you said, when the locker room entered the ring, cleared and entered the ring, evened up the odds. And here we are with the We the People chant at the end of the night. Swagger's arms in the air.
Yeah, reminiscent of his days in WWE, of being able to...
His victory lap in the ring now.
That's right. And I got to say, he looks great.
He does.
He looks great. Fresh off of his win in his first Bellator MMA fight. And, just an outstanding show provided by Fusion Wrestling here tonight. It is well done from start to finish. The matches were great. The talent was great. The show was constant. There was action throughout the entire process. So, just a great show. There was a spot in that match where we got to see Hyena Hex take a almost whisper in the wind dive off the top rope. And I don't think I've seen him get up yet.
No, I haven't. Like we said, we saw a couple guys come out of the back and check on the pile of bodies in the floor. But I still have yet, me personally, to see anybody stand up that was involved in that fall. So I'm not sure what happened or what's going to happen. I don't know. I don't know if everybody's okay.
Well, I certainly hope that everybody is okay. Outstanding show tonight from Fusion Wrestling. We will look forward to our next time that we get to come to you folks. This coming week, we will be taping our 2 show reviews for the 2 shows that we did on location episodes for tonight. And we're hearing that Fusion will have its next show in April. I did not hear the location for it, but we'll have to try to see if we can make it to that one as well. It was nice to see a variety of faces here tonight from across RVA and Virginia in general. And then to end it with, a WWE quality match, seeing Jack Swagger take on CW Anderson. Folks, we are so very thankful that Fusion gave us the time and the opportunity to come out here and participate in this event. We are very grateful for them allowing us to do it. We look forward to future events with them. But for our team here at Through the Curtain, it is time for us to say goodnight and wrap up our evening. Folks, as usual, it is Tommy T. I'm joined by
Double K,
Smokey Z behind the scenes, and we will see you the next time the bell tolls.